The Galactic Council Hall on Vorex Prime was silent, heavy, and cold. The crystal walls hummed with soft blue light, but every alien in the chamber felt a strange pressure in the air. Something important was happening today. Something the entire galaxy believed would never happen again. For the first time in 90 years, a human ship had arrived. Not a warship. Not a transport carrier. Not even a scout. A small vessel, old in design, slow in speed, and completely unarmed. Many species whispered among themselves. Humans were known for danger, for sudden violence, and for unpredictable actions. Every species remembered the old conflicts with humans, and none wanted to repeat those days. That was why the Council had closed its borders to humanity long ago. Humans were a problem the galaxy chose to avoid. So when the sensors detected a human ship moving directly toward the Council's capital, everyone prepared for the worst. Counselor Archetil, a tall insectoid being with 6 eyes, leaned close to the others and whispered, "Why would they come without weapons? They are a war species. Something is wrong." No one could answer. The landing platform outside the hall was surrounded by security drones. Snipers waited on high towers. More than 200 species waited inside, many holding their breath. As the ship touched down, a deep echo moved through the chamber. The main door slowly opened. 4 humans stepped out. Not one wore armor. Not one carried a weapon. Not one activated a shield. They looked completely calm. Too calm. Their leader, a woman with sharp eyes and steady steps, walked with the confidence of someone who feared nothing. Her name was Maya Wren, and every movement she made was controlled and balanced. Counselor Yarthus, a tall reptilian figure, could not take his eyes off them. "Why are they so calm?" he murmured. "Humans never come without fear or rage. This is strange." The 4 humans stopped at the center of the hall. Thousands of eyes watched them. Maya raised her head and looked directly at the council. Her voice was calm, almost soft. "We come with a warning." A murmur spread through the hall. Warnings from humans were never simple. Maya continued, "Something is coming. Something that will destroy everything you know." The crowd erupted. "Who do you think you are?" one delegate shouted. "This is a threat," another yelled. "Humans always bring trouble." But the humans did not move. They did not react to the shouting. They stood like silent statues in the middle of chaos. Counselor Archetil struck the ground with his staff, forcing the hall to quiet. He stared at Maya. "If this danger is real, show proof. Why should we trust you? Why should we believe anything from your kind?" Before Maya could answer, the lights above flickered. The room dimmed, then brightened, then dimmed again. All sensors in the hall beeped with strange alerts. Screens flashed with error symbols. Even the crystal walls vibrated in a way they never had before. Delegates panicked. "What is happening? Is this an attack? Shut the doors." But the humans remained completely still. Their eyes did not widen. Their breath did not change. They waited, almost as if they expected this. A soft pulse of energy moved through the room, silent, colorless, invisible, but every species felt it. A sudden coldness touched their skin. Their hearts felt heavy, like something unseen was staring back at them. The pulse passed. The lights returned. Everything looked normal again, but no one felt normal. Maya finally spoke. That was only a whisper. A small signal. The real threat has not reached this sector yet. Counselor Yarthus pointed a shaking claw at her. "You knew this would happen." "Yes," Maya replied. "Why didn't you warn us?" he shouted. "I did," she said calmly. The hall fell completely silent. Now everyone understood something important. The humans did not come for peace. They did not come for negotiation. They came because the galaxy was already in danger, and they were the only ones who knew the truth. Counselor Archetil narrowed his eyes. "If this danger is real, then why did you come unarmed?" Maya looked at him with a strange expression, part sadness, part warning. "Because weapons will not protect you from what is coming." The room froze. "What do you mean?" a small avian delegate asked. Maya slowly looked around the entire hall. Every species felt her gaze like a weight on their shoulders. "What is coming?" she said softly. cannot be harmed by metal, fire, or energy. It feeds on something else. The delegates leaned in closer, fear rising inside their hearts. What does it feed on? Someone asked. Maya answered with a cold truth. Life. The entire hall inhaled at the same time. Before anyone could speak again, the floor shook. Just a little. Another pulse, stronger this time, moved under the ground. Maya's team remained calm. The council finally realized the terrible truth. The humans were not here to ask for help. They were here because the galaxy needed their help. And whatever they were warning the council about was already on its way. The council hall remained silent after Maya's final words. No one dared to speak. The crystal walls of the chamber seemed to press inward, trapping every species inside the weight of her warning. Counselor RHA till finally broke the silence. Explain, he said, his voice softer than before. What feeds on life? Maya looked at him, then at the other delegates. She moved slowly, controlled, as if each word needed perfect timing. We call them the Eaters, she said. A name too simple for a danger so old. A ripple of confusion passed through the crowd. Counselor Yarthus crossed his arms, trying to hide the trembling in his claws. Your people always create dramatic names. Why should we believe this one? Maya stepped forward. Her team remained behind, silent and focused. You do not have to believe the name, she said. But you must believe what they do. She tapped a small device at her belt. A hologram appeared above her. Dark space, cold and empty. At first, it looked like a normal star map. Then Maya zoomed in. Entire star systems were missing. Not destroyed. Not broken. Not damaged. Gone. What is this? A winged delegate whispered. A region beyond your borders, Maya answered. A place where 5 human colonies once lived. Gasps echoed through the hall. 5. Impossible. How could you hide something this large? Maya's voice stayed calm. We could not send a message in time. By the time we understood the pattern, communication lines were already gone. The hologram zoomed again. It showed a planet being covered by a moving shadow. Not metal. Not fire. A living darkness. It spread like smoke but moved with purpose. Buildings collapsed. Forests vanished. Oceans turned to dust. Everything that once had life, trees, animals, humans, disappeared in seconds. The shadow left nothing behind. A desert of dead stone. Every delegate stared in horror. Counselor Arachetil whispered, What is that shape? It has no form. Maya nodded. They do not keep one form. They shift, change, and rebuild themselves. They feed on the life force of anything living. They do not eat metal or energy. They leave machines behind, empty and useless. Counselor Yarthus leaned forward slowly. And how did you escape? How are you alive if this thing destroys everything? Maya took a long breath. We did not escape, she said. Most humans did not. The hall went silent again. We lost millions, she continued. We lost entire cities in one night. Our largest colony fell in less than an hour. We tried weapons. We tried fire. We tried freezing the ground. Nothing slowed them. A 4-armed delegate shouted. Then how are you here now? How did you stop them? Maya shook her head. We did not stop them. We survived long enough to understand something no one else understood. Her team stepped forward, forming a small line beside her. Maya's voice dropped. They follow life. They chase the strongest life signals. They hunt anything that grows fast. Counselor Arachetil's eyes widened. Then why come here? Why bring them toward us? Maya held his gaze. They were already coming. The room erupted in terrified whispers. They've entered our space? How many? Are they close? Why didn't our sensors detect them? Maya raised her hand. The hall quieted again. They do not move like regular life. They move through dark regions between stars. Your sensors cannot track them until it is too late. The small pulses you felt earlier, she paused. Those were echoes of their movement. Counselor Yarthus took a slow, shaking breath. Why did you come unarmed? The question hung in the air, heavy. Maya walked toward the council throne platform, stopping only a few steps away. Her shadow stretched along the crystal floor. We came unarmed so you would not fear us, she said. We came unarmed because weapons do nothing to the danger we face. Her voice hardened. And we came unarmed to show we are telling the truth. We are not here to fight you. We are here because the galaxy will fall if we do nothing. A small aquatic delegate raised her hand. What do they want? Maya looked at her gently. They want to live, she replied. They survive by taking life from others. They do not speak. They do not think like us. They do not seek peace or war. They only follow hunger. A shiver moved through the hall. Counselor Arechetil asked quietly, Why warn us? After everything humans suffered in the past, why help us now? Maya's answer was simple. Because if the galaxy falls, humans fall too. And if we fight alone, we die. Her team nodded behind her. The silence in the hall turned heavy, crushing, like a great truth had settled on everyone's shoulders. Maya continued, We discovered where the Eaters are heading next. Your borders. Your worlds. Your people. She let the weight of those words settle. We came to offer a choice. Stand together, or fall one by one. The lights flickered again, stronger this time. A low rumble shook the hall. Delegates looked around in fear. Maya didn't move. They are closer than you think, she said softly. The rumble faded slowly, but fear stayed heavy in the council hall. The delegates looked shaken, confused, and uncertain. For the first time in decades, the great alien powers of the galaxy felt truly small. Maya stood without moving. Her eyes stayed fixed on the council, watching every reaction. Her team remained behind her, silent, calm, and strangely focused. Counselor Arechetil lowered his voice. If they are near our borders, then we must prepare our fleets. We must activate defenses. We must. No, Maya said softly. The single word stopped him. No weapon you have will help, she added. Your fleets will fall the same way ours did. The entire hall froze. Counselor Yarthus hissed. Are you saying we will lose everything? Maya didn't answer immediately. She looked around the hall, letting the fear grow heavy enough for all of them to understand the truth. Then she spoke. Humans survived not because we were stronger, but because we changed. The delegates exchanged confused looks. Changed? In what way? Humans do not evolve that fast. Maya nodded toward her team. There is something inside us. Something that comes alive only when our life is in danger. We call it the red mind. The moment she spoke the name, her team straightened their posture. Their eyes sharpened, their breathing slowed, and their expressions shifted into a strange stillness. Alert, controlled, almost predatory. The council felt a chill run through the room. Counselor Arechetil blinked. What is the red mind? Maya explained slowly, each word heavy. When humans face death, real death, something awakens. Our bodies change. Our minds change. Our strength, speed, focus, everything increases. Not because of training, not because of technology, because it is inside us. A giant stone-skinned delegate whispered, Impossible. You cannot unlock new abilities like that. You can't, Maya said. We can. She lifted her hand, showing a small scar that looked burned into her skin. We discovered it by accident. During the first attack on our colonies, thousands of humans were trapped with no way out. No ships. No signals. No hope. And something inside them broke open. The hall listened in shocked silence. They fought shadows with bare hands, Maya said. They moved faster than any soldier we had ever trained. They adapted to every attack. Every time the enemy shifted shape, humans shifted with them. Counselor Yarthus swallowed hard. So this is why your species was always feared. Maya nodded. You could almost hear thousands of hearts beating at once. The hall felt smaller now, as if the truth about humans filled every empty space. Her voice stayed calm. We did not understand our own nature until it was almost too late. The red mind is not a power or a gift. It is survival. Pure survival. Her team stepped forward again as if to prove the point. Their bodies held a silent tension, like coiled springs ready to move. Even without weapons, they looked dangerous. Far more dangerous than anyone had expected. Counselor Till whispered, "So this is why you came unarmed. Not because you are weak, but because you are more dangerous without weapons." Maya didn't deny it. "We came unarmed," she said, "because weapons make you fear us. But the truth is, the Red Mind is far worse than any weapon we could bring." Many delegates stepped back without realizing it. "But understand this," Maya added quickly. "We do not want to use it. We do not want war. We do not want violence. That is why we warn you. That is why we came." Her voice softened, but her eyes remained steady. "We know how the eaters move. We know how they hunt. We know what they destroy first." Counselor Yarthus leaned forward. "And what do they destroy first?" "The strongest life they can find," Maya said. "Not planets. Not ships. Living beings." A tall crystalline being shivered. "Then we are all targets." "Yes," Maya replied. "Every species. Every home. Every world." The hall fell silent again. "But if humans have this Red Mind," a metal-skinned delegate asked, "then why not fight alone? Why warn us? Why share your secret?" Maya looked down for a moment, gathering her words. "Because the Red Mind comes with a cost," she said softly. "Each time a human uses it, it takes something from us. Time. Memory. Life." Her team lowered their heads slightly, as if respecting the memory of those who had fallen. "We can fight," Maya continued, "but we cannot fight forever. If we face this enemy alone, we will disappear before the galaxy even knows the war began." Counselor Till asked carefully, "So what do you want from the Council?" Maya met his eyes. "Unity," she said. "For the first time in history, we need to stand together. Humans. Aliens. Every species. There is no other way." A long silence followed. No one argued now. No one shouted. No one doubted the danger. Something had changed inside the chamber. A distant tremor shook the hall again, stronger than any before. Maya looked toward the ceiling. "They are coming," she whispered. "And the galaxy is running out of time." The council hall was still trembling from the distant shock when a sharp alarm echoed through the chamber. A deep red light flashed across the high crystal walls. Every delegate turned toward the massive display screen behind the council throne. A message blinked in bold letters. "Distress signal. Sector 91. Priority 1. Counselor Till's 6 eyes widened. "Sector 91. That is close to our borders." Another alarm sounded, louder this time. The screen changed to a shaky video feed. Static lines cut through the image, but parts of the scene were still clear enough to freeze every heart in the room. A council outpost floated in space. The lights were flickering. Shadows swirled around the station like a dark fog. A frightened alien officer appeared on the screen. His face was drenched in sweat, his hands shaking. "This is Outpost Verin 4. We are under attack. Something is." The feed shook violently. Behind the officer, a black shape crawled across the wall. It had no body, no face, no legs. It moved like a living cloud, rising and falling like a slow breath. The officer screamed as the shadow wrapped around him. His body froze, then collapsed like dry dust. The screen went dark. Silence crushed the hall. Even breathing sounded loud. Counselor Yarthus was the first to speak, and his voice was barely a whisper. "It has begun." Maya stepped forward calmly. There was no panic in her eyes, only confirmation. "This is what happened to our colonies," she said. "First the shadows, then the silence, then nothing." A reptilian delegate shouted in fear, "We must launch our fleets. We must defend Sector 91 at once." Maya turned to him. "If you send your largest fleet now, they will all die." The reptilian froze. "Then what do you suggest we do?" Maya looked at her team. For the first time, they exchanged a silent signal. Small nods, steady breaths, a readiness that sent a chill through the chamber. "We will go," Maya said. "Our team will go with your ships." Counselor RHA Till frowned. "Why you? What can 4 humans do that thousands of our soldiers cannot?" Maya answered without hesitation. "We have seen this enemy. We have fought it. And we understand what it takes to face them." Her team stepped forward. Their eyes were sharp, almost glowing with focus. They stood like humans who had already accepted the danger, and felt no fear of it. Counselor Yarthus asked, "If your red mind is so strong, why not unleash it now?" Maya shook her head. "The red mind is not something we choose. It awakens only when death touches us directly, when the enemy is close enough to take our lives." Several delegates shuddered. "So you want to face them up close?" one of them whispered. "Yes," Maya replied, "because that is the only way humans can fight them." The hall remained silent as the truth sank in. The humans were not volunteers. They were survivors, walking into the fire again. A small mechanical delegate spoke in a trembling metallic voice. "If we send a fleet, will it give us time?" Maya nodded. "Yes, but not much. The Eaters grow with every life they take. Every second counts." Counselor RHA Till hit the ground with his staff. "Then we will launch. Assemble the strike fleet. Prepare emergency jump routes." Dozens of delegates rushed out of the hall, calling for their generals and commanders. Only Maya and her team remained still, watching the room shift into chaos. Counselor Yarthus looked at her closely. "You seem very calm." Maya gave a small, sad smile. "Calm does not mean safe. It only means ready." A moment later, a young avian messenger entered the hall in a panic. "Counselors, the shadows have spread. Sector 91 has gone silent." Everyone stared at Maya. She nodded slowly. "This is the first stage. The same pattern they used on us. Outpost lost. Silence. Then the darkness expands." Counselor RHA Till clenched his jaw. "Then we cannot wait a single moment. We leave now." The humans followed the council out of the hall and into the hangar. The giant doors opened, revealing the vast fleet preparing for launch. Hundreds of ships glowed with blue and gold energy. Pilots ran to their stations. Engines roared to life. Maya looked at the massive armada and whispered, almost to herself, "I hope it is enough." Her team stood behind her like shadows, quiet, focused, and prepared for the worst. A council commander approached. "Your transport is ready. Once we jump into Sector 91, there is no turning back." Maya nodded. There never was. The humans stepped onto their ship. The hangar alarms sounded. The fleet engines ignited. And as the ships rose off the platform, Maya whispered the truth no one else wanted to hear. "This is not the battle. This is only the beginning." The fleet jumped into Sector 91 with a burst of blue energy. For a brief moment, everything was silent, the deep, empty kind of silence only space could hold. Then the stars settled around them, and the fleet sensors began scanning the dark region ahead. At first, nothing appeared on the screens. No ships, no signals, no signs of life. Just a stretch of cold, empty space. Council Commander Noro frowned. "The outpost should be right ahead of us, but I see nothing." Maya stepped closer to the main display. Her face remained calm, but her eyes sharpened with recognition. "They've already taken it." The commander looked confused. "Taken? How?" "We arrived only minutes after the distress call." "That is enough time for them," Maya said. A soft tremor passed through the ship. Everyone froze. Counselor RHA Till, who had joined the mission, looked around nervously. "Was that?" Maya nodded. "Yes. They are close." The entire fleet fell silent. Pilots tightened their grips on controls. Soldiers held their breath. Then the sensors lit up. A wave of red warnings filled the screens. Dozens of signals appeared. Then hundreds. Then thousands. Council Commander Noro stared in shock. "What are those readings?" "They're everywhere," Maya answered in a flat, steady voice. "The Eaters." The fleet entered formation. Shields rose. Weapons charged. Even the bravest warriors felt fear as the darkness ahead began to move. At first, it looked like space dust being pushed by a gentle wind. But then the shadows thickened. They twisted together like black rivers rising from nowhere. The shapes grew larger, darker, hungrier. Counselor Arachetil whispered, "They are alive." The shadows spread, surrounding the fleet with silent precision. Maya took a slow breath. "Remember what I said. They will not attack your ships first. They will come for life." At that moment, a small scout vessel screamed across the comms. "Something is on us. Something is." His voice cut off. The scout ship drifted into view on the screen. Its hull looked intact. No explosions. No fire. No damage. But inside, the lights were off. No movement. No crew. It was empty. Council Commander Noro stepped back in disbelief. They took every living being without breaking the ship. Maya nodded. "That's how they grow." Another tremor hit the fleet. Stronger. A shadow struck one of the destroyers. The ship's crew screamed as the darkness climbed the walls like living ink. Lights flickered. Then the screaming stopped. The shadow retreated, leaving the ship floating silently. No signs of life remained. The fleet panicked. "Open fire. Burn them. Pull back. Rotate shields." Weapons fired in every direction. Bright beams of energy pierced through the darkness, but the shadows flowed around them like smoke around sunlight. Nothing slowed them. Maya's team stepped forward, their bodies tight and alert. The tension in their muscles was visible now. Their breathing changed. Slow, controlled, dangerous. The red mind was awakening. Counselor Arachetil noticed. "Your eyes. They are different." Maya didn't look at him. Her gaze stayed locked on the darkness closing in around the fleet. "It has to awaken early," she said, "or many more will die." A sudden jolt threw the ship sideways. Panels sparked. Alarms screamed. A black wave slammed against the viewing glass, spreading across it like spilled ink. Everyone stepped back except Maya and her team. Commander Noro shouted, "It's breaching. Prepare for hull rupture." Maya raised her hand. "No. Watch." The shadow pressed against the glass, but did not break it. It seemed to be searching, feeling for the presence of life inside. Then it shifted, turned toward the humans. Maya's heartbeat slowed. Her breath deepened. Her eyes sharpened. The red mind fully awakened. Her voice dropped to a quiet whisper. "They've found us." The shadow struck the ship again. Harder, trying to reach the humans on the bridge. Cracks spread across the glass. Commander Noro panicked. "We need to pull back. We need to escape." Maya stepped forward, her hand touching the cracking glass, her eyes locked on the swirling darkness outside. "You cannot escape," she said softly. "Not now." The shadow coiled tighter, sensing the intense human life on the other side of the shield. Maya's team moved behind her, ready. Counselor Arachetil stared at them. "What are you planning?" "That thing will break through." Maya looked back at him, her eyes glowing with fierce focus. "If we don't step outside, they'll kill everyone in this fleet." The commander shook his head. "Outside. You cannot fight that." Maya turned toward the airlock doors. "We can." Her team followed. Counselor Yarthus shouted, "You will die." Maya stopped, just before the doors opened. With a red mind, death is the last thing we fear. The doors slid open. The humans stepped into the airlock, preparing to face the living darkness outside the ship. And for the first time, the fleet understood the terrifying truth. The humans came not to warn the galaxy, but to fight a war no one else could survive. The council chamber felt colder than before. Shadows stretched across the walls as if something unseen had entered the room. The leaders of many planets sat still, eyes locked on the giant display showing the ruins of the battlefields where human envoys had walked without fear. But now, everyone wanted the same answer. Why were humans unarmed? Why did they walk into danger without a single weapon? What did they know? Jortal, the Krail general, leaned forward. "They stood before our armies with empty hands. They did not run. They did not hide. No soldier faces death like that. Something is behind them. The hall whispered with fear. Several recordings played again on the large screen. Human envoys stood calmly while warships fired warning shots around them. Their heartbeats stayed steady. Their voices stayed calm. Their bodies did not shake. No other species could do this. Council Speaker Leona kept her voice steady. Humans say they came in peace. But peace is rarely so fearless. A new report appeared on the table. Dr. Sarah, head of biological research, entered the chamber holding a glowing tablet. "We finally found the missing data," she said. "And you must hear this." Everyone leaned in. Dr. Sarah took a slow breath. Humans are not fearless because they lack fear. They are fearless because they have learned to control it. Their minds adapt in extreme danger. When life hits them, they become stronger, not weaker. The statement felt like thunder. They train their bodies to move even when every nerve should freeze, she continued. They train their minds to focus in situations where others break. And when pain comes, something unusual happens. "What happens?" a council member asked. "Pain does not stop them. Pain pushes them forward." A deep silence took over the hall. Humans were not unstoppable because they had strong weapons. They were unstoppable because they had strong will. Dr. Sarah showed footage from Earth. Humans climbing mountains with wounded legs, pulling friends from disasters, fighting for survival in storms, fires, and collapsing buildings, all while injured, exhausted, or even alone. They are the only species who evolved to survive in a world that tried to kill them every single day, she said. Fire, predators, cold, hunger, illness, storms. Everything pushed them. And they adapted. Jortal swallowed hard. So their strength is not physical. It is mental, Dr. Sarah confirmed. Their greatest weapon is inside them. Speaker Leona looked at the Envoys' photo on the central screen. They stood tall, calm, peaceful, and terrifying. A small voice from the corner spoke up. It was the youngest council member, Riven. If humans are so strong inside, what happens when they stop being peaceful? The entire chamber froze. Because no one had an answer. At that exact moment, the doors opened. A messenger rushed in, breathing hard. "Urgent news," he shouted. "The human envoys are requesting a private meeting with all council leaders. They say they must reveal something important. Something they could not share before." Every leader turned pale. "What could humans reveal now?" someone whispered. Another voice trembled. "If their peace already scares us, what truth is worse than that?" Speaker Leona stood up. Her hands shook slightly, though she tried to hide it. "Prepare the chamber," she ordered. "We will meet them." Behind her, the giant screen showed humans walking toward the council building. Calm, unarmed, unafraid. The leaders felt the weight of the moment. For years, they thought humans were harmless. Now they understood the truth. A species that fears nothing is the most dangerous of all. And the real reason for their arrival was still unknown. But soon everyone would find out. The council chamber was silent as the human envoys entered. Their footsteps echoed like slow drums. No guards followed them, no weapons on their belts, no armor on their bodies. Yet every leader felt as if a powerful army had just stepped inside. The lead envoy, a calm man named Elias Ward, placed a small metal case on the table and looked around the chamber with steady eyes. "Thank you for meeting us," he said in a quiet voice that somehow carried through the entire hall. No one spoke back. Elias opened the metal case. There was nothing inside. A shockwave of confusion spread across the chamber. Jortal whispered, "Is this a message?" "An empty case." Elias nodded. "Yes. This empty box is the reason we came." The council stared, puzzled and tense. Speaker Leona asked, "What do you mean?" Elias took a deep breath. "We came unarmed for one reason. Because we are the weapon." The words dropped like thunder. Gasps filled the hall. Some council members stood. Others stepped back without realizing it. Elias continued, his voice calm but sharp. "Humans evolved in a world that forced us to fight for life every day. Our minds learned to resist fear. Our bodies learned to push through pain. But that is only the surface." He pressed a button on his wrist. A hologram appeared above the empty case, swirling energy, like storms trapped inside a cage. "What is that?" Dr. Sarah asked, stepping forward. Elias answered, "This is the human survival response. When our bodies are pushed past the limit, something awakens inside us. Strength increases. Focus sharpens. Instinct takes over. In emergencies, we become faster, stronger, and more enduring than we should be." Another envoy added, "We do not become monsters, but we become something no other species has. Something you feared without understanding." Speaker Leona felt her hands tremble. "Why tell us this now?" Elias closed the hologram. "Because the galaxy is changing. A force is coming. Something far beyond your armies, beyond your shields, beyond every weapon built." Every leader leaned forward, frozen. Elias then said the words no one expected. "We are not here to ask for peace. We are here to prepare you for war." A cold silence spread through the chamber. Dr. Sarah whispered, "War? Against who?" Elias stepped back as the lights dimmed. The screen behind him came alive, showing a colossal shadow moving through space, a shape so large it swallowed entire stars in darkness. "This," Elias said. "It has awakened. It is moving toward your worlds. Our telescope saw it before anyone else. We have faced creatures like this on our own planet, and we survived because we had no choice." He paused, letting the horror sink in. Jortal's voice cracked. "So humans came unarmed? To prove something?" "Yes," Elias said. "To show you that strength does not come from weapons. Comes from unity. From standing together. From not giving up, even when everything wants you to fall." The second envoy added, "We came unarmed so you would trust us. So you would listen when we warned you of what is coming. If we arrived with guns, you would think we wanted war." Elias gave the final truth. "We came with empty hands, because we needed you to take them." The chamber shook with emotion. Fear mixed with hope. The council finally understood. Humans were not here to conquer. They were not here to scare. They were here because the galaxy needed something only humans could offer. Courage in the face of the impossible. Speaker Leona rose slowly. "Elias, what must we do?" Elias looked at the council with firm eyes. "Prepare your worlds. Train your people. Stand with us. Because the darkness coming will not stop. But together, we can stop it." The envoys bowed. The council bowed back. For the first time in history, the galaxy realized the truth. Humans were not the weakest species. They were the last hope. And the real story was only beginning.